Ex-boyfriend, 21-year-old waiter Jared Butler, for totaling her car.
Order. All rise.
Your Honor, this is case number 439 on the calendar in the matter of Sanchez versus Butler. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Ms. Sanchez, according to your complaint, you and the defendant were in a relationship and for a period of time lived together. Is that right? Mm-hmm. You claim that the defendant, without your permission, took your car and wrecked it. You had no insurance, according to you. The car was totaled, and you want him to pay you $5,000.
Right.
The defendant says he had your permission, and he has a whole bunch of excuses. One of his excuses is you should have had insurance on the car, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Tell me under what circumstances he had your car.
Well, what had happened was early in the morning, I had to be at work at 7:30, and he had misplaced his car keys. So he decided that he would just take my car to go and pick up his spare key that was at his mother's house. And while I was getting ready for work, he just grabbed my keys and walked out the door. And right before he closed the door, he just yelled that he was going to take my car before I could react or anything.
Well, if you had time to react, he had taken your car before and had driven your car before, is that right?
Right.
You wouldn't have said no.
I would have taken him.
Why?
Because I was nearly ready and I had to be to work. And
But you would have had to have taken him and then come back, right? So there would have been no point in you taking him. Ms. Sanchez, I want you to answer my questions honestly. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. There would have been no point in you saying, just a minute, I'll drive you to your mother's house and then bring you back in order for you to pick up your car, right?
Right.
He had driven your car before. There wouldn't have been a problem.
Right.
So you grabbed her car keys.
No, Your Honor. She gave me permission to use her car keys, Your Honor.
I'll decide whether she gave you permission.
Okay.
You grabbed her car keys and you got into the car.
Yes.
And what happened?
I headed towards my mother's house to get my spare key from my vehicle. On the way back, I got in a car accident.
You got into a car accident that was your fault.
It's proclaimed as my fault, yes.
First of all, you have to speak slowly. You have to speak so I can hear you. You got into a car accident that was your fault.
Yes.
How?
It was said that I ran a red light, and I got in a car accident.
No, your voice trails off at the end, sir. I heard ran a red light, and then
I got in a car accident.
you hit another car.
Yes.
Did you run a red light?
The light was yellow.
You ran a red light. Were you given a citation?
No.
You claim, sir, that your driving license has been suspended
Restricted.
or restricted. Why was your driver's license restricted?
Because I was driving a vehicle that was uninsured.
How long had you lived together?
At this time, 1 month.
Now, had you ever had a discussion with her about insurance?
About 9 months before this, and her and I broke up, and we got back together. California law assumed she had insurance.
But you never questioned her.
No.
Now, you have insurance on your car.
Yes.
Did you report this accident to your insurance company?
Yes, I did. And they said they wouldn't cover me to drive someone else's vehicle. My insurance only covers me to drive my vehicle.
Really?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that the way it happens here?
Oh, no, I've never had an accident.
It was always my understanding that if you had insurance, that your insurance covers you even if you're driving somebody else's car.
That's what we had thought. And her father and myself, we had called my insurance company, and we've been fighting them. And they said that they wouldn't cover me to drive her vehicle because it was uninsured, and they're not going to pay for it. I was willing to pay the deductible to get it fixed, but they wouldn't cover it.
Could your car have been fixed?
No. It was written off as a total loss by more than one place.
What year car was it?
It was a 96.
What's your insurance carrier's name? Let me see. Is this the name of your broker?
Yes.
Good morning. This is Judge Judy Scheinland. To whom am I speaking? I'm in the middle of trying a case, and I'd like some information from you. Okay, I have one of your insured before me. His name is Jared Butler. Are you familiar with that person? Okay. My question is this on his policy. Does that policy cover him if he is driving someone else's car? Liability only. It won't cover collision. I see. Well, that's really what I want to know, because that's exactly what happened. Okay. Very good. You've been a tremendous help to me. Thank you. Bye-bye. Can I see the bills for your car, proof of loss?
It's right here with the letter we sent him.
Mr. Butler, I give you 30 seconds or less to explain to me why you should not be responsible for this.
I just feel I shouldn't be responsible for her negligence. She drove her car without insurance. California state law requires her to be insured. She shouldn't allow somebody to use her car, be driving to work every day, driving her nephews, allowing us to drive to Big Bear in a car that's uninsured.
So you believe
I don't think I should
she-
be penalized for her negligence.
So you believe that she is the proximate cause of her car being totaled because
Absolutely
she
not.
should have had insurance?
It was my fault that I was in a car accident. It's my responsibility for the accident. It's her responsibility for the insurance.
Right.
So I'm not blaming her for the accident. I'm taking responsibility for the accident.
How are you taking responsibility for the accident?
Well, prior to all this, her father and I had been trying to settle on an agreement, and I told him I would pay the $1,000 deductible, or him and I could work out some payment plan, and he didn't want that. And because he wanted to go to court and see whose fault it was, really.
It's your fault. You ran a red light. Wasn't even as if you were the innocent in this car accident. You were the guilty person in this car accident. What about the car that you hit?
They had sent her father some notice saying that they $5,700 they want for the car to be fixed.
Yes.
That's what happened, as far as that goes.
They actually sent me the notice. They're coming after me.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jennifer Sanchez says ex-boyfriend Jared Butler owes her for totaling her car. Jared says he had permission to drive the vehicle.
Now, just for my own information, why didn't you have insurance?
I actually did have insurance, but I wasn't aware of it. My father let me believe that I had been canceled from their policy because he wanted me to pay the insurance bill, and I couldn't afford it at the time.
Yes. So did you have insurance or not?
Yes, I did, and I didn't find that out until I purchased this new car to go and put it on the policy.
So you have insurance? You mean if I didn't ask that question, you weren't going to tell me?
No, I would have said
When were you going to tell me?
when he was done relaying his story.
So what was your out-of-pocket expense?
My out-of-pocket expense has been nothing so far except for I had to buy the new car, which was $9,000.
Right, but your insurance is going to... You do have insurance.
Right.
What's the deductible on the insurance?
I don't know that.
Well, if you don't know that, Miss Sanchez, how do you expect me to make a judgment? I have to compensate you because clearly this accident was his fault.
Right.
And he should be prepared to cover you for any of your out-of-pocket expense. And if you have a car that has a $500 deductible or a $1,000 deductible, that he pays. You're suing him for $5,000. How am I supposed to know what your deductible is on this insurance that your father carried for you but didn't tell you about? I'm sure he told you about it before you walked into court.
Well, I didn't find that out until I went to get my new car insured under his policy.
Who is this person here with you?
This is my mom.
Do you know?
I do now.
Perfect. Stand up, please. Mrs. Sanchez.
Yes.
Would you please tell me what the deductible is on this insurance that your husband wisely carried for his daughter?
I actually don't have that information as well. Jennifer and myself were not aware until she purchased the new vehicle that my husband, in fact, did continue paying her insurance bill for her. Because she's a full-time student, we would never consider allowing her to drive a vehicle without insurance.
Very smart. But how am I supposed to know what kind of judgment to render in her favor? What were her losses?
Well, because of my husband's feeling, I believe, in talking directly to me was that because Jared did, in fact, not have permission to drive the car on that day.
Yes, he did. I'm telling you he did.
Okay, indirectly, I'll agree.
I'm telling you he did.
Alrighty. Indirectly, I feel, in my opinion, that he did not, because she did not have a chance to respond.
I'm telling you that that didn't happen. Because if he had taken the car without her permission, she gets on the phone, she calls the police and says, somebody just took my car without my permission. He's driven the car before. He drove the car before when she had no knowledge about this other insurance policy. She knew that she didn't have insurance. She let him drive the car. She drove the car herself.
That's true.
Okay.
Jared has driven the car one time before to Big Bear, as he stated,
Just a second.
but never without her.
Trust me, he's driven the car before. Maybe when they went out on a date, he drove. Does that sound right to you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Went out to dinner or to a movie, he
Never
drove.
taking it upon himself to get in the car and take off.
Listen to me. Don't be naive. Don't be naive. I left my keys. I can't find my keys. I'm running off to my mom's to pick up a set of keys. I'll be back in 2 minutes before you have to leave for work. And whether she handed him the keys or he went in her bag and took the keys, that's what happened. So I don't care what your husband's feelings were. Your husband feels as if he should pay for the whole car and not put it through his insurance?
Actually, it's not the entire amount of value of the car. It's what we could get through small claims court. The value of the car exceeds the $5,000.
How much did your insurance company pay you for the car?
We did not report it to the insurance company because she was not aware, nor was I, that she actually was covered. My husband even told me that she did not have insurance
When were you made aware of it?
when she purchased her new vehicle.
When was that?
Almost 5 months after this accident occurred.
Approximately 4 weeks ago.
Something wrong with this picture over here.
What-
Your husband knows that he has insurance for some bizarre reason, which is maybe why he's not here. And he reasonable person would say, I'm going to put in my claim right away, because how else am I going to get paid for this car?
The reason that I can give you for that is because from the beginning, there was not a problem as far as Jared agreeing to pay for the damages that he had himself incurred on Jennifer's vehicle. That was never a problem. But as months and months went by, he then said that he was only partially responsible. Now he's saying he's not responsible at all.
Oh, he is responsible.
Of course, we know that.
He's
But he doesn't
responsible.
seem to
The only
know
question is how much. I mean, I can understand your husband saying, listen, if I report this to my insurance company, my premiums are going to go up, and they're going to go up and stay up, which is a problem. Now, that's a reason. That's a reason saying, why should I be penalized when he caused the accident? And by my insurance going up, all because of his accident, I'm not going to report it to my insurance company and let him take care of it. That's a reason that I might buy.
Right, and
Right,
that's
that's
exactly
exactly
correct.
what
Well, then why don't you just say that to me instead of this hocus pocus? My husband
she
didn't
was,
tell
in
me.
fact, not
My
aware.
husband didn't tell me. What?
I don't understand it, Judge. I don't understand.
I still didn't get a straight answer from you, Miss Sanchez. Were you supposed to have had insurance on this car?
As far as
Look at
I
me.
knew,
Were you supposed to have insured the car yourself? Just answer my question.
yes.
Yes. Did you tell your father you had insured the car yourself?
No.
When were you supposed to have put insurance on this car yourself?
I was supposed to have done it a while back, but I could
Why
not
didn't
aff-
you?
I couldn't afford to.
Did you tell your father you couldn't afford
Yes,
to?
he knew I couldn't.
No, don't tell me what you knew. Did you have a discussion with him and say to him, I cannot afford to maintain insurance on this car?
Yes.
When?
It was probably about a year before this accident happened.
Did your father say you have to maintain insurance on the car?
Yes, he did,
So why didn't you?
because I couldn't afford to.
Then you don't drive. What happens if you have an accident? Happens all the time. You have no insurance to cover your car. And what about the people that you injure?
I would have been responsible.
And how are you going to pay for that if you couldn't even pay for the insurance?
Well, I would have had to get a job.
I thought you have a job.
I had a job, and I lost it.
You don't drive a car without insurance. Mrs. Sanchez,
Yes.
I quite frankly can understand why your husband would not want to cover this part of the damage.
Correct.
Your husband, however, since the car is insured, is probably going to have to cover the people who he hit, unless you want to be out that money too. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I understand the legalities of that, but morally, I think that's a little...
He's going to have to be responsible because he's not going to do it.
We've clearly found that to be the
Right.
case.
But I believe that your daughter is partially responsible for what happened here. I believe that he is more responsible for what happened, but your daughter actually drove a car that she knew was not insured. And she did allow him to drive that car, knowing that that car was not insured. When did you purchase this car?
My father purchased it for me about a year before. I had only had it a year.
You have the purchase price of the car?
I don't.
Let me see all your papers, please. Well, the car is pretty well totaled, that's for sure. Nobody was hurt in this car accident? That's really lucky.
If you read the police report, Jared states in that the reason he may have ran the red light was because heading westbound, the sun was in his eyes.
I don't care why he ran a red light. He ran a red light. I know he ran a red
correct.
light. He knows he ran a red light. He's in a big hurry.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Who did her father buy the car from?
He actually purchased it from his sister, which would be Jennifer's aunt.
How much did he pay for the car?
He said $6,800.
Yeah, that's true. That's correct.
So he paid her $6,800?
To his sister, yes.
And the car had 4,300 miles on it? Okay, and the car needed a paint job?
Yes.
So say the car was worth $4,200. And I believe that you had some responsibility with regard to this for driving a vehicle that was uninsured, at least uninsured according to you. I do not believe, Mrs. Sanchez, that your husband has to absorb his problem. And it was his problem. Should she have to absorb his problem? Partially, but certainly not your husband. You and your husband would have to absorb his problem by reporting this to your insurance company, which means your rates clearly would go up. The car was driven by someone other than a member of your family, was clearly involved in an accident that was totally the fault of the defendant. And your insurance premiums would probably go up permanently, or at least for the next 5 years. So I believe that your daughter bears 25% of the responsibility, somewhere around that, and I'm awarding you $3,200. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Lee and Drezel are suing Kimberly's brother, 29-year-old upholsterer Keith Fainall, and his wife Jessica for money they loaned them to have their wedding.
Order. All rise. Quiet in the courtroom, please.
Your Honor, this is case number 390 on the calendar in the matter of Andrezel versus Fainal.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ladies, have seats, please.
Mr. and Mrs. Andrezel, the defendant, Mr. Fennell, is your brother, is that correct? Your brother-in-law and now sister-in-law.
Yes, Your Honor.
According to your complaint, they were getting married, and you made an arrangement with them that they could have the wedding in your home and in your yard, and the arrangement was whatever money you spent on the wedding, they would reimburse you for. Hopefully, they would get enough money from wedding gifts to reimburse you, but if not, according to you, you would have a payment plan for any deficit. You claim that they did not pay you.
Correct.
While I have an answer only from Mrs. Fennell, she says that there was never any agreement to repay you out of the wedding gifts. Is that the case?
That's
the case.
That's the case.
Okay. Tell me about the discussion that you had with your brother and his fiancée about the wedding.
My brother called and he said that Jessica was pregnant and they would be getting married this summer. I asked him, did he still want to have an outdoor wedding? That was always my brother's dream, was to have an outdoor wedding. He said, yes, he did, but he didn't know where he could do that. And I said, well, I would run the idea by my husband, and maybe we could do it at our home.
Well, what discussions did you have about paying the expenses of the wedding?
Originally, her dad was supposed to give her money. The wedding date was getting closer and closer. We needed to do the flowers and different things. So I told Jessica that we could still go shopping for the flowers, and that when her dad gave her the money, she could pay me back. So we went shopping and we bought all of the flowers. She picked them all out, and I made the arrangements. At that day at the store, she made a comment in line about, how much money she was going to owe us for all of this. And I said, don't worry, I've got all the receipts. We'll take care of it when everything's done, when you get your money from your dad. It was a few weeks later that she had told us again that her dad had not given her the money that he had said he would give her. My brother was over, and he was looking at the menus for the caterer. And he said he didn't know what they were going to do because the only money that they would have at this point would be from wedding gifts. I spoke with Joe that evening. I called my brother back, and I told him that we could loan him the money for the caterer and that we fully expected the day after the wedding that we would be reimbursed.
Okay, how much was the caterer?
$1,482.92.
And your brother agreed with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
2 days before the wedding, I received a phone call at my home from their DJ. He was calling me to inform us that he would not be able to DJ their wedding. This was 2 or 3 days before the wedding. And my brother asked me, would I help him find a DJ? One of the DJs that I called another DJ, and they called me back. My brother agreed to go ahead and hire this DJ. The problem was that their original DJ was in the neighborhood of $250. The DJ that agreed to do their wedding on such short notice was much more. He was $750. So my brother said, I don't have the money, and I won't have the money until Saturday. At that point, I said, well, we're already loaning you the money for the caterer. We can go ahead and loan you the money for the DJ,
Okay.
and we'll take care of it. And then I also have a contract for that DJ.
Okay,
and
I
it
believe
has my
you.
brother's signature on it.
Oh, it does have your brother's signature.
And her signature, yes, ma'am.
Can I see it, please? Okay, so now we have the DJ and the caterer.
Right. Did you want a copy of the receipt for the caterer?
Sure.
Okay. That's the original receipt.
Okay.
I'd also like to point out that my brother did pick the menu items on the caterer. The food that was served was what he picked.
Okay. What's next?
There was two portable toilets.
How much was that?
That was $140. I have receipts for that.
Can I see what you have, please?
Yes, ma'am. I'll just give you everything. There you go.
Have the agreement from Action Rental for rental services, cups, tablecloths, the tent. You did have a tent, didn't you?
Yes, ma'am.
There were actually 2 tents, Your Honor.
So that the entire rental was $336. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. Now, what happened the day of the wedding?
2 days prior to the wedding, I received a phone call from my brother, and he said that Jessica was upset over the DJ. And I said, I don't know what else to do. You agreed to it last night. We've signed this contract, sent it on. The guy has my credit card number. This is what we agreed to.
Right.
And she was at work. There was no way to contact her.
Okay, so you had an agreement with your brother. So
And
told she was upset about it.
Right. And in the background, I could hear her screaming and yelling obscenities at me and calling me foul names. I told my brother that I was very upset by this, and we have done nothing but open our home to Jessica. It's my brother's wife, the mother of his child. We've never been anything but nice to her. And to have her say those things about me was heartbreaking. And at the time, she was driving one of our vehicles. And I said, if that was the attitude that she was going to take with me, then I expected the return of our vehicle, and that I expected an apology. I mean, what she said was it was wrong, and it was rude, and I expected an apology. And Jessica called me, and she said she was very stressed about, she was having trouble with her pregnancy. We talked about that for about an hour. She apologized for what she had said about me, and everything was fine.
So you got to the wedding. Had
Yes.
the wedding at your house.
Yes.
What happened with the gifts? They got wedding gifts.
The gifts were on the back porch, and her grandmother asked me to take the gifts inside to ensure that the gifts were safe. We put the cards in our office, and we figured they would be safe there and fine until the next day when, you know, they were to come back and open them and help clean up.
So what happened?
Everyone had left for the evening, except some friends of ours were staying. My brother was passed out in one of our spare bedrooms. It's not funny. Jessica was still there, and Patrice was also there with her children. I was out back. Everyone was packing up. It was about midnight. And Jessica wanted to take my brother home for the evening. And she asked me, could I unlock the house? And I said, Jessica, I don't have a key. And she said, and I'll quote, and I hate to use this language, but she said, what do you mean you don't have a key to your own house?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Joseph and Kimberly Andrezel say Kimberly's brother, Keith Fano, and his wife, Jessica, owe the money they loaned the couple for their wedding.
Okay, go ahead.
And at that point, I still had my gown on. And I said, Jessica, where am I going to put it? I don't have a key. Joe has pockets. You need to go talk to Joe. So she found Joe, and at that point, the two of them went in the house.
I'll pick it up from here. Jessica, Patrice, her maid of honor, and myself, we went in the house to find Keith. He was still in the same state that we left him. They kind of half roused him, got him stood up, and walked him out to the car. After they got him to the car, they came back in, and Jessica started asking me where the gift cards were. And, you know, I just told her, I said, they're safe, they're in the back room, we'll take care of it tomorrow. You know, in my mind, I knew full well that Keith was going to come back and help us take the tent down and pack tables up and chairs and stuff like that. I really didn't want anything to happen to it. There was a lot of money there. We were both concerned about it. I mean, we had obviously had something riding on it. And I said, you know, we'll just take care of it tomorrow.
Right, and she said?
She got very belligerent. I won't quote exactly, but there was a lot of F words flying. She was very belligerent. Patrice was belligerent. And I basically told the two of them, I said, you know what, we need to talk about this tomorrow. We've all been drinking. There's no point in arguing about it now. There's a 4-year-old baby sleeping on the couch over here. Why don't we just discuss this in the morning when we're all in a little bit better state?
At that point, I came into the house because from the backyard, I could hear yelling. I thought they were outside because I could hear them so clearly, and he said, no, they're in the living room.
Okay, so there was a fight.
Yes, I went in to ask them to go outside. I did not want Shania to be awakened. She was sleeping on the couch, and I didn't want her to be scared. So I asked them to go outside, and they refused to leave the living room. Joe told Patrice, you don't belong here. You have nothing to do with the agreement. You need to leave. And I said, you know, if you don't go, I will call the police. And Patrice told me that Jessica would have called the cops, and I quote, if she knew where the phone was. And I said, Patrice, Jessica knows my house just as well as anyone. She certainly knows where the phone is. If she thought she was in danger, she could have called 911. At that point, I went to get the phone, and Patrice reached out for me, and Joe grabbed onto her and lifted her off the ground and somewhat pushed
All
her
right,
off the
bottom
floor.
line is they did not get the checks that day.
No,
No, ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, and according to you, you received a telephone call from her grandmother.
Yes.
Her grandmother, the next day.
Yes.
Please give them the gift cards, whatever they owe you, I'll take care of.
Yes.
I also brought a copy of an email sent to me that basically states exactly what you said.
Right, okay.
I think
Okay,
it's-
and then she didn't pay you.
Oh, ma'am.
You want them to pay.
Yeah, they paid nothing.
Good. Who's going to speak for your end?
I'll speak on most of the part because a lot of it he wasn't even there for.
Well, he was there for the agreements, Keith, is that right?
Yes, I was.
You were there for the agreement, so let's get to the agreements. Did you, in fact, sign off on the caterer's contract and choose the menu?
I don't remember signing the contract for the caterer, which is, it's very possible I did. There was a lot going.
You did pick the menu.
Yes.
Fine. Now, at the time when you were doing the menu, did you, in fact, have a conversation with your sister with regard to payment?
It's very possible, Your Honor. There's
What do you mean it's very possible?
there's been a lot going on since August, since the time of that, with the birth of my son and everything
I'm
else.
not talking about
I
the
understand
birth of
that,
your son. I'm talking about at the time that you were planning a wedding. Your sister sounds as if she has tried to be very nice to you
Yes.
and very nice to your then fiancé.
Yes.
Did you, in fact, discuss with your sister that whatever financial deficits there were with regard to the DJ, the caterer, flowers, the porta potties, the rental for the tents, the rental for the other things, that you would be reimbursing them for those items?
Yes, Your Honor.
You did?
Yes.
Fine. And we don't have to go any further. The question is, why didn't you?
That I don't really have an answer for that, Your Honor.
Well, your wife seems to have an answer for that. But you had the arrangement.
Yes.
Good. You got a couple of choices, Miss Attitude. And I have a couple of questions for you. Did your father, in fact, at first, indicate to you that he was going to send you some money for the wedding?
Your
That
Honor.
requires a yes or a no.
Yes, ma'am.
Did your father give you any money towards the wedding?
He gave me money way before the wedding, and I never told
Now, just
her.
He gave you money way before the wedding for what?
For whatever it was that I needed to purchase.
For the wedding?
Correct.
How much did he give you?
$2,000.
What did you do with it?
I spent it on tuxedo.
On other things. $2,000 isn't a tuxedo.
No, it was a lot of other things. I have receipts for a lot of it. It was for dresses for the bridesmaid or the maid of honor. There was dresses for the little flower girls. There was quite a few things. The alterations to my dress. There was a lot of things that it was paid for with that money.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yes.
It's interesting that she brings up the bridesmaids' dresses because the day we went to purchase them, her other bridesmaid was not with us. And when I took mine to the counter, Jessica fully expected me to pay for that other dress. And I told her that I had paid for enough that day, and that's where I was drawing the line. That I was not going to pay for a dress for someone that I didn't know. The other things that I paid for, that was for my brother, and I knew that I would get that money back. But for someone that I didn't know, that's where I drew the line.
Did you at any time tell your brother's wife that you were expecting money from your father, and that money would be to cover some of the expenses for the wedding, such as the caterer, the DJ, flowers?
No, Your Honor.
You did not. So all of the financial arrangements were left to your husband.
Can I say something? As far as the entire wedding was concerned, I had no control over anything that happened. This was more Kim's wedding than my wedding.
I read that in your papers, and who cares?
I didn't want it catered, Your Honor.
Who cares? Well, your husband did.
No, he didn't.
What?
He did it to make her happy. Everything that we did for this wedding was to make her happy.
Let me explain something to you. Neither your husband nor you were forced, dragged to their backyard to have this wedding. If you didn't want to spend any money for a wedding, if you didn't want to use their backyard, get on a plane and go to Vegas, go to Wedding Chapels Incorporated and get married. You went to the wedding. Your husband participated with his sister in the selection of a DJ. He signed the contract for the DJ. He selected the menu. He agreed to pay for the incidentals because you knew you had an outside wedding. You have to have tents and chairs and porta potties. How many people were at your wedding?
I don't even know.
The RSVPs were for 80, then plus the people in the wedding. And
So about 90 people?
We had originally planned for about 100, 110. The week before the wedding, Jessica called Kim in a frantic panic and said, we need to increase the number of people that you have for the caterer. We need to increase it from 125 to 150 people.
But the RSVPs were wrong to increase the number, which increased everything else as well.
Looking over all of your receipts, the amount is pretty close to the $3,000 that you are requesting. And $3,000 to make a wedding for 90 people is certainly a bargain. You would agree with that, Keith, wouldn't you?
Yes, ma'am, I would.
Keith, let me talk to you for a minute, because I'm telling you, when I've been around, there is no talking to your wife. Have you spoken to your sister since your wedding?
A few times, Your Honor.
Was your sister there when your son was born?
No, she wasn't. I actually received a phone call the week after my son was born at my employment.
Shh. Is this your only sister?
Yes, it is.
Are you pretty close?
Yes.
Tell me about how come your wife was driving one of your sister's cars.
Our vehicle that we had was a manual transmission. And with her being pregnant, her doctor advised her not to drive a manual transmission vehicle.
So how did it come about that your sister gave her one of her cars to drive?
We were at my sister's and my brother-in-law's residence, and we were talking about it one night, and they said they had a vehicle sitting there, and they said that she could use it.
That was very nice of them.
Yes, it was.
So, Keith, you know what the divorce rate is in this country?
No.
Better than 50%. And if I were a wagering person, my friend, I would say that you're going to fall into that 50%. You're going to have your sister forever. If your wife is forcing you to make a choice between your sister and her, that's really crummy. You would agree with that, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would.
Me too.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
They did nothing but try to give you a special day. This attitude over here, she cops an attitude because she wasn't involved in selecting the caterer. She opened up a big fresh mouth over the telephone. You shouldn't be placed in a position where you have to make a choice between your wife and your sister. Your sister, I'm sure, and your brother-in-law would love to see your baby, hold your baby.
He's here now, Your Honor.
And if your wife is preventing that, you're supposed to be a man. You stand up and say, you don't want to have anything to do with my sister? That's your prerogative. I intend to have a relationship with my sister and her husband because they've been nothing but good to me. And it's Saturday afternoon. I'm taking the boy over to see my sister. And if your wife can't digest that, that's her problem. Because any time a mate unreasonably forces their mate to say it's either me or your family, unreasonably, you got to make a choice. Don't make the wrong one. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,000. That's all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Year-old medical billing clerk, Diana Young, is suing her ex-boyfriend, 38-year-old business owner Craig Perry, for stealing her Cadillac. Craig says Diana never paid him back for the vehicle, so he took it. He's countersuing for the car's depreciation.
Order. All rise.
Your Honor, this is case number 448 on the calendar in the matter of Young versus Perry. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Gentlemen, have seats, please.
All right. Miss Young, the defendant is your former boyfriend, and you do have a child together.
Yes.
According to your complaint, there came a time when he purchased a car for you. It was a used car. Purchase price of the car was $1,800. Is that correct, sir?
That's correct.
According to you, you gave him a check for $1,008, and he said to you the rest was a gift.
No.
Shh. I said according to her. And then sometime later, he took back the car without your permission. You want to be reimbursed for the $1,008 check that you gave him, as well as for items that you claim were in the car when he repossessed it. Is that your lawsuit?
Yes.
You, on the other hand, Mr. Perry, claim that you did in fact purchase a car for her. She gave you a check for $1,008, and there was an agreement, since you had put this car on your American Express bill, that she would pay you the other $800 before you had to pay your entire American Express bill. She didn't make the payments, you took back the car.
That is correct.
And then you have a countersuit for $750 that you claim is depreciation on the car during the time she drove it. When did you purchase the car, sir?
November the 16th, Your Honor.
And you brought it home to her?
To her residence, right.
Were you living together at the time?
No.
Okay, now he brings the car home to your residence, and you have a conversation. And tell me your version of the conversation.
Okay. He heard of it. I was looking to buy another car. He heard of a really good deal on a particular car, and I was not able to go see the car because I was in school taking final exams. We had a discussion. I said, why don't you go check it out and tell me about it, pay for it, and I'll give you the money back. When he went to the dealership, he called me back and forth, describing the car, describing the mileage, describing how much they wanted for it. And I said, because in the beginning, the whole thing was I was going to purchase. I did have the money. He purchased the car. He came to my residence with the car. And as I was driving back home, I made him say, you know, you should really just buy this car from me. We've been together for 5 years. You know, you can afford it.
Now, just a second. Now, let's go slowly, Miss Young.
Okay.
You said to him, you should really buy this car for me?
Well, yeah, we have been talking off and on about things that I need that in a relationship people help each other out with.
Tell me about the conversation that you claim you had with him at the house.
Now, after we got to his residence where I was going to drop him off, I said, how much should I make this check out for?
No. You started to say something about we were in a relationship a long time, so I said you really should buy me the car. When did you have this conversation
As
with
I
him?
was taking him home after he got to my house with the car.
Yeah.
And I was taking him back to his house.
So tell me about that conversation. I want to hear what you said to him and what he said to you.
He said that he couldn't do it right then. He wasn't in a position to buy the car.
All right, so you asked him, you said, you should be a good guy and buy this car for me, and he said no.
Exactly.
All right. So.
Okay, so when I get to his house, I asked him, how much should I make this check out for? He said, he thought for a moment.
Look at me. Look at me.
He thought for a moment, and he said, well, make the check out for $1,000.
No.
It's $1,000.
Listen to me, Mr. Perry. You're going to have an opportunity, but don't interrupt her. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
The purchase price was $1,807.98. He said, well, make it out for $1,007.98, which is $800 less than the purchase price. After he told me how much to make it out for, he complained on how he felt that he really shouldn't be doing this. And in other words, he kind of got the feeling that he was helping me out, but he kind of didn't want to, but he did because he knew it was, you know, something that I had asked him, if you understand what I mean.
I'm listening.
The rest of it is, again, we never made any agreements on repayment, nothing like that, because the balance of it was a gift.
No, I'll decide whether it was a gift.
Okay.
All right, so what happened with the car?
Right after Christmas, I called the dealership because I had temporary plates in the window, and I'm asking them, where are the plates? I need the plates. They told me that he had picked up the plates 3 weeks prior. I called him at home and asked him, well, why do you have the plates? Why won't you give me the plates in my car? And he got really upset at that point and said, well, my name is on that car too. Well, can I back up? When he gave me the bill of sale, when I gave him the check, he gave me the bill of sales. I asked him, why is your name on here? He told me that because he put it on his credit card, his name has to go on the registration also, and that he had signed a waiver at the dealership stating that the car was mine. As
Can I see that bill of sale, please? All right. We're now a month later in December.
Yes.
December what?
December 27th.
12/27, he takes back the car.
12/27, we had a discussion on the phone when I was asking him about the plates, that I need the plates, the registration is going to fall, and the dealership said you picked up the plates. Why did you pick up the plates, and why won't you give them to me? He said, well, that car is in my name, too. I said, well, we both know the car is mine. You know, it doesn't matter whose name the registration is in. You know, that doesn't matter to me. The car is mine. The next day when I came home from work, my garage was open, and the car was gone. I knew he had took the car. However, I filed a police report for a stolen vehicle. The police in my city told me that even if I had to pay 90%, he paid 10% because there's 2 names on the registration that they cannot put a stolen vehicle suit on there. That they can only do the criminal trespassing and taking it without permission.
Okay. Now, what items do you claim were in the car when he took it?
Okay. Our son's child seat is in the car. He has not.
Who purchased that?
Shh. He refuses to return it.
I'm sorry.
Child seat. Go ahead.
I also have, it was some cowboy boots in the car. I had bought 2 pair. 1 pair for him, 1 pair for me. He has his. Mine were still in there. I have the receipt for those.
Let me see it.
Later.
Let me see it. Shh, just a second.
also-
Just a second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. What's next?
I also had my stethoscope because I'm going to nursing school and some school supplies in the car. Also, there is, now I don't know who he had to get the car, but I also had a gold chain in the car. It's in a box. It was actually a gift for him for Christmas, but we broke up before Christmas, so I never
Just a
gave it to
second.
him.
Wait 1 second. Where is the...
The receipt for that is in the car with the stuff.
Oh, well, you can get another receipt for the chain. What is this bill for Jarp's Western Store? Is that for the boots that you say were still in the car?
Yes.
Were there boots in the car?
No, Your Honor.
No, there weren't.
No.
No, there weren't.
Yes, all of those things.
No, there weren't.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Diana Young says ex-boyfriend Craig Perry stole her Cadillac. Craig says he paid for the vehicle.
Miss Young,
Yes.
the bill for Western boots is dated 12/14.
That's right, before.
Shh.
Okay.
Oh, I understand before. But unless you can come up with a really fast answer as to why you kept brand new cowboy boots in the car for 2 weeks and a brand new gold necklace that you were going to give him for Christmas in the car, in its
Yeah.
box.
Do you want the explanation?
Oh, yeah, I would like the explanation.
I have 2 vehicles. All of those things were in that car after I purchased it. I left them in the car. Actually, I left a lot of Christmas gifts in the car. And when Christmas came, I took the kids' stuff out, my family things out, and I left certain things in there. The car was in the garage. I drove the van around. I didn't really think nobody would take the car or the stuff in the car.
All right.
I mean, I have new stuff in my other van right now.
Well, that's pretty stupid considering the fact that you already knew that anybody can go into a car and take out stuff from the car. I don't believe that there was anything other than the child seat in the car. What about the stethoscope?
Yes, Your Honor, it was.
That was in
And
the car,
some school-
and that
school
you
things.
have,
Yes.
and that you're going to return.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. Common sense suggests that your gold chain that you bought him for Christmas after you had these
I actually
words
was
on the
going
phone,
to return it.
then you have it in your house. And also your new cowboy boots, you bought them on the 14th. What were you
Right.
doing leaving them in the car?
Especially
I just
when got
explained
mine,
it to
December
you.
No,
17th.
no, no. They weren't a Christmas present for him. You said
No,
you
they
bought
weren't.
2 pair.
Yes.
One for you, one for him.
Yes.
He's wearing his, and you left yours in the car. Why?
There was no reason to take them out.
There was no reason to take cowboy boots into the house? Right. All right. Miss Young,
Yes.
I've been around the block a little bit.
Okay, that's fine.
So far, you're ahead of the game on your $1,008. Stethoscope you're going to get back. Let's get to the child seat. Who bought the child seat?
I did, Your Honor.
Is that correct?
Yes, he purchased it.
You use that child seat?
No, Your Honor, I don't.
Oh, if you don't use it, then you're going to give it back to her.
Yes, I am.
I've been asking
Oh,
him for
fine.
it.
So you're going to give her back her stethoscope, any medical stuff that she has, any notes, any books, and anything else?
The only
were
thing
in
that
car?
was in the car, Your Honor, was the baby's bag, my son's bag, a stethoscope, like she said, and the car seat itself.
Okay, you're
That's
going
it.
to give those things back to her
Can you
within
ask- I'm
24
sorry.
hours. Yes.
Can you ask him who took the car? Because did you take the car?
Just a second. Don't ask him. You said, can I ask him?
Yes,
I don't
please.
care who took the car. He took it back. He acknowledges he took it back. Okay, Mr. Perry, you tell me about the conversation when you brought the car home.
The conversation when I brought the vehicle home, I spent the night at her house that particular night. We woke up that morning, and she was to drop me off at home, which she did. When we got in front of my home, I'm breaking out the paperwork because she already knew what the total amount was. All of a sudden now, it's like, well, you know, it's getting ready to be close to Christmas time, and my money's kind of short. Huh? What do you mean short? Okay, what can you give me right now? Well, I can give you $1,000 right now, and then I can give you
Miss Young,
$400
did
payments.
you hear what I said?
Yeah,
To
sure.
him? Say the same thing
She
to
said,
you.
I give you $400 payments. I said, okay, well, that's fine, as long as I get it before the bill is due. She said, oh, I can do that. Okay,
Listen to me. I want to see your American Express bill.
sure, right here.
Thank you.
One is the bill itself, and the other where I made the payment on the bill.
Okay. So she agreed to make payments on the bill.
She agreed to
Excuse
make
me.
payments. She never made any payments on it. Every time that I asked about the payments, it's like something come up, something come up. I do have a 17-year-old son with her, okay, which I love very much. I'm trying to deal with her in the situation, okay? I did not start sweating her until after she started constantly asking me about the license plates to the vehicle. I said, Diane, I have the license plates to the car. She said, well, I tell you what, I'm going to report the license plate stolen. I said, what do you mean you're going to report the license plate stolen? She said, you keep the license plates. I'm going to report them stolen because the title was coming to my house in the first place, and I'm not going to give you any more money on the vehicle. I said, how can you do that? She said, because I called down there and had the address changed, because it originally is in my address.
Okay. You took back the car.
I took back the car, yes.
All right, Mr. Perry, this is not a very difficult case. She drove the car for approximately a month, is that
That's
right?
correct.
Your counterclaim is dismissed for $750 for depreciation on the car. It's nonsense. You know it's nonsense, and I know it's nonsense. Okay? The items that were in the car when you took back the car, because I do find that there was an agreement that she would pay you the additional $800, I believe.
Excuse me.
Put your hand down.
That is not true.
Put your
I
hand.
can
Hey,
lie.
look at me. Don't speak. I'm ruling. I listen to you. I listen to you. Now you listen to me. I do believe that there was an agreement to pay off
That is not true.
the additional $800 for the car. You, Ms. Young, are absolutely entitled to your $1,008 back. You are absolutely entitled to your medical equipment that was in the car that the defendant is going to return to you. And he has indicated that despite the fact that he purchased the car seat, that also will be returned to you. I do not believe that you left a brand new gold chain or brand new boots for weeks in your car. I think that's a lot of baloney. So, I am entering a judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,008, and I am dismissing your counterclaim for the car's depreciation.
Your Honor, can I say one thing? By her name still being on the title of the vehicle, is it any way possible she can sign off on the title by me giving her, refunding her the money?
Oh, yeah, do you have that?
No, I don't have anything.
All right,
Back
very,
up.
very easy. Ms. Young, with the entry of this judgment in the amount of $1,008, do you agree that you will relinquish all title and interest in the car that is currently in the defendant's possession?
I have no problem with that. I
So
just
the
want my
answer
money
is
back.
yes, you will.
Sure, I will, yes.
Yes, you will. Then that will be part of the order, that the plaintiff agrees that upon receipt of $1,008, she will in fact sign over title to the defendant. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
You lied. First of all, I hate that it had to go this far. Second of all, he lied.
I think the judge was very fair, and she saw right through her lying.
There was no agreement for this vehicle, and he knows it, and I know it. There was no payment arrangements.
It was a verbal agreement.
There was no agreement at all, and you know it, Craig.
I'm lying down.
Yeah.
And now the next case.
All parties on Wandick versus Munoz. Step forward, please.
17-year-old Barbara Wundick and her mother Marcela Avitia are suing 58-year-old caregiver Olivia Munoz for the return of a down payment on a car.
Who's Miss Wandick?
That's me.
And who are you?
Her mother.
You can sit down. How old are you, Miss Wandick?
17 years old.
There came a time when you were looking for a car. It was about a year and a half ago?
Approximately August of 1999.
And you were 15 then, is that right?
Correct.
You saw that the defendant had a car. You went and arranged to buy this car from her. You gave her $1,000 deposit. And then there were some arrangements that you were going to pay out the car within the next month or 2 months or whatever. You didn't make the car payments, and you didn't buy the car.
Correct.
And you want your $1,000 back.
Correct.
Right?
Right.
Ms. Munoz,
Yes, ma'am.
when she came to your house
Yes.
and wanted to purchase the car, did you have her sign a contract?
No, ma'am. We didn't have a contract. I just wrote out a receipt, which I have as evidence.
That she gave you $1,000?
Yes, ma'am.
Who did she come to your house with?
She came, Barbara Wanda came to my house with a young man.
A boyfriend?
Yes, a husband. I thought it was a husband.
You thought it was her husband?
Yes.
She was
wasn't.
only 15.
That's the first time that I find out her age.
Ms. Munoz, let me tell you what the law is, because this case will be handled very swiftly. The law is that you cannot enter into a valid contract, either written or oral, with a minor. Being a minor is an absolute defense to a contract. Do you understand?
I understand that, Your Honor, that she did not present herself as a minor.
She doesn't have to. She can have gray hair. She can be long in the tooth. It doesn't make any difference. If she's under 18, she cannot enter into a valid contract. And it's up to people like yourself to say to somebody who looks young, because she clearly looks young, I'd like to see your driver's license. And so would I. I would like to see your driver's license so that I can be certain that you are how old you say you are. Do you have a driver's license?
No, I do not.
Do you have any proof of your age?
Well, I did bring my work permit in
That I
order
can
to show
see.
you.
That I can see.
I believe it has my birth date. Yeah, it has my birth date right there.
$928.83. Got it? Ms. Munoz,
Yes, ma'am.
got to give her back $1,000.
Well, can I say something?
Sure.
When Barbara came to my house with this young man, they had told me that they were expecting a baby, and they needed to buy this car before the baby was due, and that they both had jobs. So that's why I assumed that they were married, you know. And we went out for a test drive on this car, and she liked it, and I did let her know that I had other interested buyers, and I did not want to take her the down payment, the $1,000. I wanted my money in full, but she
And that's
pleaded-
what you should have done. You should have said, I don't want to take a down payment. I have other interested buyers who are going to buy the car outright, so I'm going to sell it to somebody else. Meanwhile, she didn't come up with the remainder of the money. You still have the car. She was a minor. You have to return her $1,000. It's an absolute defense. Being a minor is an absolute defense to a contract. She cannot enter into a valid contract. You must return her money. Do you understand? Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,000. That's it.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Operations manager Donald Baker is suing his neighbors, Mark and Deborah Taggart, for damage to his home caused by fireworks.
Order. All rise.
Now, this is case number 479 on the calendar in the matter of Baker versus Taggart. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Mr. Baker, you and the defendants are neighbors,
Yes, we are.
and I assume that your backyards abut each other's,
Yes, they do.
and these are two private homes.
Two private homes, two separate communities within a master development.
According to your complaint, the Taggarts like fireworks, and they use them to celebrate a variety of events. And they have both damaged your property, according to your complaint, and in addition, according to you, have caused your wife a certain amount of trauma. I see your wife is not present.
Yes.
All right, so let's start with the first incident that you talk about, which took place in 1999.
Your Honor, may I provide you with a photo to follow the story?
Yes, that's always helpful. Go ahead, sir.
On January 23rd, which was a Saturday, late in the evening, I happened to be in one part of the home, and my wife was at the dinette area, when all of a sudden there were large or very loud explosions. She proceeded to go out to the patio where that pool rail is. When she reached the rail, this particular rocket came down through the screen and exploded within 2 to 3 feet from her where she was standing. She proceeded to protect her eyes.
You're talking about through one of these screens?
Through the ceiling above her.
The ceiling
Yes.
of over the pool?
Yes, Your Honor, and I have a picture of that. There's the picture of the hole, and here's the picture of the rocket in the pool that was taken the following morning.
So what did you do, sir?
Well, by the time I got to the door going out to the patio, needless to say, seeing her basically just covered with sparks, she panicked in sheer terror, proceeded to run out to the wall, and began to yell over the wall, probably screaming to the Taggarts, to please, they're damaging my property and things of that nature. About that time, a barrage went off, additional rockets, and she hid or took shelter underneath that decorative tree. I proceeded to go out and shield her and bring her back into the house. We then called the sheriff's department.
What happened when the sheriff's department arrived?
The sheriff came out, observed the fireworks, the damage. He was able to observe the party taking place.
The party was still ongoing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
He left my home. I had to escort him over to Mr. Taggart's home to show him where the party was taking place at.
Mr. Taggart, do you remember a police officer arriving in your home on the 23rd of January?
I wasn't present at that time. My wife was.
What kind of a party were you having?
It was my husband's 35th birthday party.
So where was he?
He had gone across the street to get some additional food and things for the party.
Okay, so he just wasn't there at that moment?
At that moment, yes, correct.
And you had a discussion with the sheriff?
Yes, I did.
And he told you that there had been a complaint?
Correct.
So what did you do?
Well, the sheriff had come to the door and said that the fireworks had been letting off sparks, and that the sparks had done some damage to the pool area and had frightened the wife, and asked us to stop the fireworks, which we did at that time. He also asked us to contact Mr. Baker to make arrangements and to discuss the incident that had happened.
So did you do that?
When my husband returned, I told him the time I was tending to the party, so I was not back where the fireworks.
So did you do that, Mr. Taggart? Did you
Yes,
call the
I
Bakers?
did. I called Mr. Baker and discussed it with him, and at that time he had told me that his wife was cowered on the ground getting showered with sparks. I felt that was heavily exaggerated. The fireworks that I have, Your Honor, they're not bottle rockets. They're big. It's hard to explain. I wish I'd have brought one, but they shoot 200 to 300 feet up in the air. They're caked, is what they're called, 25 shot. And the
Did he
fireworks,
tell you that damage had been caused as a result of one of these things?
He said that there was damage to a screen. He didn't.
Did you make
indicate
arrangements
exactly.
to go over and look at it?
Not at that time. After I'd spoke to him, he seemed to have been rallying his neighbors. He said his neighbors have some complaints as well, and their screens got damaged. And another time, he came to my house, another 4th of July. The only other time...
All right, let's go to the next instance because we haven't gotten there yet. So the answer is there was never any payment made for the initial damage in 1999. Is that correct, Mr. Baker?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
All right, let's move to the next instance.
In the following January, New Year's 2000, there was a gala fireworks display. That evening, the winds were fairly calm, and whatever debris that was being shot off was going somewhere else within our community or his community. There was no damage to my property as a result of his fireworks display.
But he did, in fact, have a fireworks display.
Absolutely.
Is that correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
On July 14th, I happened to be in my home, and again, Mr. Taggart is setting off fireworks. In this case, they were the rockets of this type, and they were going over my yard. And I personally, just from pure anger and frustration, drove over and confronted him at his front door with some of his friends from his party, asking him to please either shut it down or move his fireworks to the front of his property, shoot over his neighbors and not over my property. I turned around and, rather than having more of a confrontation, I proceeded to leave, got back to my home. There was a series of other rockets go off shortly after. My wife says, obviously, he's not listening to you. And he did subsequently move the fireworks to the front of his home. The next incident, Your Honor.
Can I interrupt?
Yes.
When he did come over to my house, he was upset, and he did threaten me to some extent that he was going to get me and I was going to pay for this in some manner. I respected his wishes, however, I did move the fireworks to the front. However, all the neighbors in my neighborhood, they don't have a problem. There's 8 feet between each house from my house to the neighbors on either side.
He has a problem.
I realize that. But I
He
feel
has a
that I was singled out in this instance because the fireworks that I have aren't bottle rockets and things of that nature. They're
Somebody was shooting those off from your yard, sir. Maybe some of you guessed because they know that you have fireworks and maybe they brought some of their own. That's a possibility, isn't it, Mr. Taggart?
I guess.
Yeah, you guess.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Donald Baker is accusing his neighbors, Mark and Deborah Taggart, of ignoring his request to stop their use of fireworks. Donald says the Taggarts have caused damage to his property and undue stress to his wife.
Go ahead. When was the next instance, sir?
New Year's this year. When I got up in the morning on Monday, I initiated a sheriff's report. I took photographs of the residue from his fireworks. And Your Honor, he mentions something other than bottle rockets. My understanding is in the industry they're called mortars. They are very large balls filled with black powder that you need a tube or a cannon or a pipe to shoot them out of. And this is the debris that came off of my roof and also my patio.
Did you have a party New Year's Eve?
Yes, ma'am.
And you did have some fireworks?
Yes. Now, the fireworks, that debris is eventually going to come down. However, it's not lit when it comes down. I mean, these shoot 300 feet in the air. Well before they hit any houses or the ground, they're out.
Was that the last instance, Mr. Baker?
That is the last incident, and that is what drove me to take this to court. I have attempted, I've exhausted every means available to me to settle this in a neighborly fashion.
Okay. Mr. Taggart, every judge brings to the bench with them a certain amount of life experience. You and your wife look like nice people. I don't think that you're bad people. I think, however, that you are not a considerate neighbor. Even though your neighbors may not have a problem with your fireworks, clearly one of your neighbors does. I'll tell you that when I was pregnant with my first child, I was living in a row house development, and one of the neighbors on the 4th of July decided to have some fireworks. Excuse me. It was my second child because it was Adam, because he was born in August, and I was very pregnant. And fireworks went off and came sailing over into our little backyard. And I remember hitting the ground over a little stool that was there out of fear, because you have a certain amount of fear. If you're not in charge of those fireworks, Mr. Taggart, if you don't have control over them, there's a fear that you have. You hear something whizzing in the air. You hear something exploding. There is a certain amount of debris. You say it's not lit by the time it hits something, but when you see it coming down at you, you don't have a little voice inside saying to you, that's not going to be lit by the time it hits my hair. And I recall so vividly being concerned for the remainder of my pregnancy that I had caused some kind of damage to this baby when I hit the ground hard because of somebody else's idea of a good time. And I will tell you that my husband at that time, if he could have, if I would have let his collar go, would have gone over to that neighbor's house and ripped out his heart through his nostrils. And I would have been there cheering because this guy just did not care. He said, you know, nobody was hurt. I mean, the fact that she overreacted by hitting the ground, that's not my fault, which was basically his response. She overreacted, which is really what you're saying to me. So if she's cowering over in the corner and being frightened, that's not your fault. It's because there's something wrong with her. The debris would not have caused the house to go on fire because by the time it gets down, it's not lit anymore. You can celebrate the 4th of July without fireworks in your backyard. So if you have a neighbor that's had a problem, and if you've been advised 2 years ago that there was damage done to property and that he was in fear, and he's not a nut. He's not a nut. He says, I want to be able to enjoy my 4th of July too. Maybe I want to go in the backyard and have a barbecue. I don't have to have my friends and relatives walking around with hats and umbrellas because you want to shoot off fireworks. He's not wrong. Do I look like I need help from you?
No, Your Honor.
So, if your neighbors complain for 2 years that it's stressful to have you firing off this stuff, then you take your party elsewhere. Or you have your party without it. Now, can I see a bill, sir, for the damage to your property? You think there's anything wrong with Adam as a result of my falling to the ground?
Adam is okay.
Bird knows Adam from the time he was, what,
There's
6 or 7. He is okay.
He's perfect.
I wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
He's a cute
I
guy.
was trying to help Adam out.
All right, the total damage from both incidents is $940. Is that right, sir?
Yes.
You're too old for fireworks anyway, Mr. Tennant. You understand? It's a kid thing to do. In this state where I live, they're illegal. You can't sell them, you can't buy them, and there's a reason for that. The reason for that is fireworks are dangerous. You never know what's going to happen. So I'm entering a judgment in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $940, and I strongly urge you, you're nice people, find another way to play. That's all.
Okay. Parties are excused. You may step out.
I'd like to think that I can look forward to a very peaceful New Year's and 4th of July hereafter.
Oh, yes, fireworks are going to be tuned down a bit.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Evans versus Esquin, step forward, please.
30-year-old Dion Evans is suing his ex-girlfriend, 21-year-old receptionist Elizabeth Esquin, for the value of a Chevy Beretta. Elizabeth says the car is in her name.
Mr. Evans, you and the defendant lived together for about 2 years, according to your complaint. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
When did you start living together?
In December of 1999.
According to your complaint, during the time that you lived together, you purchased 2 cars. You put both cars in the defendant's name.
Yes, ma'am.
When you broke up, you say she took one of the cars. She took the Beretta.
Right.
And you want that car back or the value of that car.
Yes, ma'am.
The defendant says that her parents had given her a car, and her parents disapproved of you, so when she went to live with you, they took back the car. She had no means of transportation, and you provided for transportation. There was never any agreement to return this car. So, Mr. Evans, I have a couple of questions for you. Is it correct that when you met Miss Evans, she was driving a Nissan?
Yes.
And when you decided to live together, Mr. Evans, did the defendant tell you that her parents were going to take back the car?
No.
Did she ever tell you that her parents were taking back the car?
No.
What did you say to her with regard to having a car for transportation?
Well, being that I felt responsible, you know what I'm saying? That the
Felt
car,
responsible for what?
for the car getting taken because her parents didn't like me.
That's what I just said. You just said you didn't know anything about it.
Okay.
You got my drift.
Right.
And being that you felt responsible because her parents took back the car, what did you say to her?
I told her that one day I would help her get a car.
Good. And she said, okay.
Right.
And what car did you help get her first time?
I haven't helped her purchase a car yet. The cars I purchased it by myself. She has never been with me when I purchased any of my cars.
She didn't have to be with you. When did you buy the Beretta?
On June the 21st of 2000.
So about 5 or 6 months after she moved in. Is that right?
Right.
And when you bought the Beretta, sir, who drove the Beretta?
Majority of the time she did.
And what car did you buy for yourself?
I bought a Chevy Cavalier and a Chevy Beretta.
Now the Beretta, you say she wasn't with you when you purchased it.
No.
You have a purchasing agreement?
When I purchased the car, I paid cash. All he did was give me a receipt.
Can I see that, please?
She kept the receipt because it was inside her car.
Oh, good. Do you have the receipt?
No, I don't.
Do you have the title?
Yes, I have the title.
Let me see the title.
The title and the registration.
Now, Mr. Evans, you want to tell me why you titled these cars in her name? Both of them. Not just one, but both of them.
Well, all 3 of them are in her name.
Tell me why you put all 3 of them in her name.
Because she had like good credit, and my credit was like,
What do you need credit for if you're paying in cash?
well, for the first car, we financed it.
I'm not talking about the first car. I'm talking about the Beretta. You said you paid for the Beretta in cash.
Right.
So if you paid for the Beretta in cash, why didn't you title it in your name?
Well, all my cars are titled in other people's name because my insurance is a non-owner insurance policy, so it allows me to drive other cars.
Well, who has insurance on this Beretta?
Well, I have insurance on all the cars.
Mr. Evans, this all sounds like a little bit of a hustle to me, sir. So, Mr. Evans, you say you put the car in her name first because she had better credit than you did. But 2 seconds before, you told me you paid cash for the car, so that has absolutely nothing to do with credit. So there was absolutely no reason to put the cars in her name,
No, wait.
unless you were trying to avoid something.
Well, avoiding paying higher insurance, if anything.
So you were really fooling the insurance company.
I wouldn't say fooling the insurance company.
Well, you see, you got fooled yourself because she's got the Beretta. She could have the Cavalier, too.
Pretty much so, yes.
Darn right. She could go and pick up the Cavalier right out of your driveway. And you could be stomping around and saying to the police, I want my car back, and they could say, not your car.
Right.
Check her.
Already did that.
Who already did that?
I did. I called the police and tried to make a report on the vehicles because, like I said, I purchased them. They told me I couldn't because they was registered in her name.
No, I said to you, she could call the police and say, he's got my car, the Cavalier, I want it back. The police would go, pick up the Cavalier, and bring it to her house. And then she would have the Cavalier, and you could stomp around all you like, but they're her cars. You got it?
Right.
So sometimes when you try to pull one scam, it ends up coming back and biting you in the behind. You understand?
Yes.
Do you enjoy the Beretta?
Yes.
Case is dismissed.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
23-year-old retail salesperson Heather Watt is suing her ex-fiancé, 19-year-old security officer John Sanderson, for depositing bad checks into her account and then withdrawing the money. John is countersuing, claiming Heather stalked him and caused him to lose his job.
Order. All rise. Quiet in courtroom. Your Honor, this is case number 481 on the calendar, the matter of Watt versus Sanderson.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Miss Watt, can you tell me how long the defendant was your boyfriend before he asked you for money?
Approximately 3 months or so.
And what did he tell you he needed the money for?
He didn't really say. He needed it for various things. He said one of the things he used money for was to pay his grandmother, who he lives with. And he just said that he needed money.
And what did you say?
I told him that since he had just gotten a checking account, I told him if he wrote me a check, I could deposit it and withdraw it immediately and give him the cash.
You had an ATM card?
Yes.
And did you do that?
I did.
When was the first withdrawal that you made?
The first withdrawal was on November 4th.
You have your bank statement?
Yes, I do.
Can I see it, please?
Sure. I also have the canceled checks.
I'd like to see those two. First one was November 4th, 2000. And how much did you take out then?
The first one was $100, and a little while after, he said he needed more on the same date, so he gave me another check for $100.
Okay. And then I see there's another check here the next day.
Right.
For $300.
Yes, he decided he needed more money for whatever, various things, and he asked me to do it again, and he assured me that his bank would cover it no matter what, so I did him that favor again.
Was he working at the time?
I believe he was.
Do you remember where he was working?
At a grocery store.
Did he ever give you the money back?
No, he didn't. He promised me that he would pay me back after I informed him that the checks came back canceled. But then the relationship started getting bad. He started getting verbally abusive and controlling, and we were heading towards a breakup, and he told me because he was getting aggravated with me, he wasn't giving me my money back ever.
You also say he has a jacket of yours.
Yes, he borrowed it and took it to Maryland to visit his mother and left it there and never gave it back to me. He said he would do everything he could to get it back, and he hasn't.
Go.
As far as the jacket, we traded jackets. I did leave the jacket in Maryland.
What do you mean you traded jackets?
We traded jackets. I had a South Pole jacket, and she liked it. She wanted to wear it, and I said, well, it was in the beginning of the relationship, so I said, well, if you give me your jacket, then we can trade.
Did she give you back the jacket that you were wearing that was hers?
No, she burned it with a cigarette.
Is that right?
Your Honor, I don't smoke.
Where is his jacket?
It's at my house. I told him he would get his jacket back when I get mine back. I had his jacket dry cleaned for him and everything because it was in dirty condition when I got it.
Your Honor, I was smoking a cigarette, and she had hated it when I smoked. So she took the cigarette and tried to put it out on the bureau. But I yelled at her, and she didn't say anything, but she just turned and put it out on the sleeve of the jacket.
Well, why don't you give her back her jacket?
Because she hasn't reimbursed me or returned my jacket. Also, I have attempted to get the jacket back into Massachusetts. My mother is handicapped now. She doesn't have the means to get to a post office to send it out or anything. She's been waiting for the time when my sister goes out there to visit to mail it back.
All right, we'll take care of the jacket. Now let's get to the money.
As far as the checks, I did write her the checks, of course.
Try looking at me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because I want to see you looking at me when you tell me the story.
Okay. I wrote her the checks because she had an enormous debt in credit cards, and she was falling behind, and she asked me if she could borrow some money. So I wrote her the checks eventually because she kept hounding me, and I didn't have any money at the time. She didn't believe that I didn't have any money in the account, and also I have a ATM card. I have it with me. I have an ATM card that has a credit card logo on it, and she was convinced that it would just charge to my account. If I'd written the checks and they bounced, it just charged to my account, and she'd get the money, and we'd just pay it back later.
Your Honor, that's a lie.
Just a minute. So far, I'm not getting the whole story, sir. Come on.
You know, she deposited the checks, and it takes a few days to post to the account to clear through the bank and everything. She immediately withdrew the money, bought some money orders, sent them out to her credit card companies, and then a few days later, the bank realized that they were bound. There was no money to cover the checks, so they withdrew the money from the account.
Let me put this in shorthand. You say that you wrote out these checks to her knowing that you had no money in your account. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
That's a crime. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Did you know before I just told you?
Yeah, I just wanted her off my back.
So in order to help her, you wrote her a series of bad checks. That's what you're telling me.
I wrote her the checks because she had been hounding me for almost a week.
Hounding. So you wrote her a series of bad checks to pay her credit card.
Right.
Is that true?
That is not at all true. When we went to the ATM together, he wrote the checks in the car, we drove to the ATM, and I took the money out of the ATM machine and it passed from my hands to his and I never saw it again.
Right, because that's the same date as the withdrawals, dates that you wrote the checks, right?
Yeah.
So what I have to do is now choose which story sounds more reasonable. Now, I could do that by doing those the way we used to choose, you know? Or I can just muster all of my judicial skills, all of my common sense experience, and say that your story sounds a little fishy to me. And if it doesn't make sense, it's not true. Now let's get to your counterclaim. Now that I have disposed of the $500 that you owe her. You are countersuing her for thousands of dollars because you say she harassed you at your job. You were working at a grocery store?
Yes, ma'am.
Costing you thousands of dollars in lost wages.
No, it was $1,000 lost wages.
And what was the other $2,000 for?
Things that she had charged from my credit card.
So let's get to the harassment first. So you're saying that she was harassing you at the grocery store you were working while you were dating?
Yes.
So get over it. If you're still dating, evidently you didn't find that too much of a harassment.
No, I was trying to convince her not to come down so often. And not
So after you tried to convince her not to come down too often and she came down, you still went out to dinner, went to the movies, did whatever you wanted to do. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
So forget it.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Heather Watt says ex-fiancé John Sanderson deposited bad checks into her account and then withdrew the money.
What she charged on your credit cards?
A sweatshirt, a couple of remote control cars. For her nephews for Christmas, she needed to borrow money.
Did you ever charge anything on his credit card?
No, he bought me a sweatshirt and he bought me a Walkman and they were both gifts offered by him.
Right here.
Let me see.
One of my receipts, one of my statements.
Do you have
I
other
actually
statements?
filed for
do you have,
less.
do you have other statements?
Other statements? Yes, I do.
Well, other statements that you wanted me to look at. Okay, you have here written actual amount for a Walkman, $102.
Yeah.
And general merchandise, $83.97.
Yes.
She says you gave her this Walkman as a gift.
No. Her
Your
Walkman
Honor,
that she had.
I had a very good Walkman. It was practically in brand new shape, and I gave him that, and he bought me a new Walkman. So the Walkman I gave him was practically brand new. So it was almost like a trade-off, and it was a gift from him.
The Walkman that she had previously.
Yes.
It wasn't working well, and she wanted a new one, and I said, all right, let's go to Radio Shack and get one.
Oh, fine. So you bought her a Walkman. Perfect. And actual amount for radio-controlled car for her nephew,
Yeah.
$83.97. What is that?
I don't know. I know he bought himself a radio-controlled car. He brought it to my job and to my house.
I bought myself one also.
Get out of here.
No.
Mr. Sanderson, Mr. Sanderson, let me tell you something, sir. You're a really good fibber.
But I really did get her that
Really,
car.
really. Just like you really wrote these bad checks, right?
Yes.
Right. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $500. Your counterclaim is dismissed. I don't know if you're ever going to get your jacket back. Do you understand?
Yes.
So we're his. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She totally reversed everything, turned everything I said into a lie.
I just think Judge Judy's a great lady and she did a good job.
And now the next case.
All parties on Green versus Comer. Step forward, please.
24-year-old cocktail waitress Amanda Breen is suing her former friend and roommate, 26-year-old cosmetologist Tennille Comer, for unpaid rent and bills. Amanda says when Tennille began dating her ex-fiancé, she asked her to move.
Briefly, Miss Breen, according to what I've read in your complaint, you and the defendants were friends and roommates. You were engaged when you moved in together or when you were living together. That engagement terminated.
Yes.
Then there came a time that your friend and roommate started to date your former fiancé.
Yes.
That created a certain amount of friction.
Yes.
And you decided ultimately to give her a choice.
Yes.
Either she moved or you were going to move.
That's right.
She moved, you claim, owing you some rent and other assorted bills.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, when did you give her this ultimatum?
It was October of 2000.
And how did you communicate that with her?
There was a letter that I wrote to her. I spent 3 days compiling a letter letting her know how I felt about the situation.
Do you have the copy of that letter?
No, I did not take
Do
a
you
copy
have
of
a
it,
copy?
unfortunately.
Can I see it, please?
Sure. On page 4, it's highlighted where she states that if I move out, she cut her losses, I pay nothing.
No,
That's
it
okay.
says, shh. It says that if I move out.
Just a minute. When did you ultimately move out of the apartment?
Middle of November.
Did you pay November's rent?
No, I did not.
Excuse me, Your Honor, I may shed some light into that.
I didn't ask you a question yet.
Okay.
Amanda told me that if I would move out, I would pay nothing. She also told me that if I would move out, her mom would pay my half of the rent until she found a new roommate. In the letter, she states that if I move out, she cuts her losses, I pay nothing.
No, that's not what it said. She says, I'll cut my losses. So you stayed until mid-November.
She actually
Now-
was there until the 27th of November. It was the last day she moved her stuff out.
Is that right? 27th of November?
No, it was the middle of November, Your Honor.
What?
That's a lie because
I would say lie.
I was at Amanda's house.
I assume you're her mother.
I am, and I was at Amanda's house the day that Tennille signed off on the lease, and she looked right at me and said, I signed off on this lease, I owe this money, Amanda's not going to get stuck paying it no matter what. I was there to make sure that she didn't take things of Amanda, help Amanda move things into her bedroom and lock it up because Tennille was taking things from her. And she called her father while she was there and said, Daddy, I don't have to move out today.
It doesn't make any difference. She was there past the first of the month. She's there past the
Exactly.
first. She's there past the first of the month, and this way, well into the month, it seems to me she has to pay rent. Now, you said something very respectfully you want to contribute, so I'll let you stand up here. You are former fiancé, current boyfriend?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, your name?
My name is Brian Hansen.
So what do you know?
I received a phone call in November from Amanda stating that if I would get Tennille out of the apartment, that the rent would be waived.
No phone call.
And
Never
all
happened.
all bills, everything owed, it would be waived.
So she made this arrangement with you,
Yes.
but she had no such conversation with the defendant.
Yes, she did.
When?
November 10th.
No. On November 10th, she sat in my living room and
No,
told me she knew it was her obligation to pay
I
the
don't
money.
understand that. Why would she have a discussion with you waiving the rent for November when you were still living there in November and you were
Because-
planning to move?
Because she wanted me out of the apartment. There had
You
been,
wanted to be out of the apartment, I assume.
No.
She chose to move out.
I did choose,
Now you can sit down because I wasn't addressing you.
I did choose to move out. It was a hostile environment. I don't know.
Right. Nobody wants to live in a hostile environment. And you have to pay rent in November. How much was the whole rent?
The whole rent was $745. There was a late fee that I was charged because her half was not paid, and the total that I had to pay to keep my apartment was $398
For her half?
for her half.
Okay.
Correct.
Was there ever a discussion, Ms. Comer, that you did in fact owe certain monies for past bills?
Yes.
She outlines a couple of things here. Still owe me $192.49.
That was grocery shopping, stuff for redecorating the apartment, trips to Costco for household items that I had receipts stapled together on the fridge, and she went through them in June and left me this note with how much she owed me.
Let me see.
In her handwriting.
Okay. Because that will make it easier. Otherwise, I would tell you just forget about it.
And that's the only proof I have left of it, was the note she left me in her handwriting.
Okay. Did you pay her any money towards this account after June 13th?
I'm looking for the. No, I paid $170.36 on 5/25.
No, 525. I said after 6/13.
No.
Your Honor, may I approach?
No.
I just don't understand why she would write me this letter saying that these bills are wiped away.
Well, I read the letter very briefly, Ms. Comer, that said how hurt she was that as a friend and a roommate, you chose to enter a relationship with her former fiancé within weeks of their breaking up, and she was very, very hurt. And let's quote exactly what she says here. If you give me the money you owe me, I'll move out. I'll cut my losses, pay you nothing, and you get all your expletive deleted out of my apartment ASAP. And if you don't have your stuff out by November 30th, I have plenty of people who will want to come over here and help me get rid of you. I refuse to live with someone I can't trust, and trusting you is a joke. So if you're asking me why she might have said something that you interpret as, I'll forgive all the money that you owe me, she did it because she was clearly angry and hurt. Ms. Breen, on the flip side.
Yes.
Better now than later.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Affairs of the heart are a very, very difficult thing. I'll tell you that I don't believe that these two people decided to hurt you intentionally by entering into a relationship together.
Right.
I don't think that that's how it started. I absolutely understand the nature of your letter, but you have to understand that they're probably not bad people. They just got caught up in a relationship, and somebody had to get hurt. But I don't think the design of it was to hurt you.
No.
You agree?
I agree.
Okay. Does she owe you any other big bills?
The phone bill came up to $173.13 total. Half of that was $86.57. I have the bills here showing.
Show them to her.
I have the bills here showing exactly how much is due. Statement ending November 28th, which she moved out November 30th.
Bertie,
So
she clearly
it is
doesn't
still
have
her
to do anything. Would you
responsibility.
take care of that, Judy?
No problem.
And sorry. And in order for the phone to not be disconnected, I eventually did have to pay the entire amount.
Pay attention.
Okay.
Those are for June, July, August, September, October. Until November 28th, is that
Yes.
right? Okay. What else? Did you pay this bill?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. What else?
108.52 for the PUD. And
What is that?
That's our power, our electricity.
Show it to her, please.
June through November, the total owed was 217, what does it say, 03, and I divided that in half. Half of it owed by her.
Any question about this bill?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. 774.
774. That's very close to what I came up with as well.
Move on.
Move on.
Good.
Definitely.
Good luck. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $774. That's all.
Patrice Lockett is suing the father of her child, 24-year-old marketing analyst Jason Perry, for a loan to pay back an employer who accused him of stealing.
Order. Order in the court. All rise.
Your Honor, this is case number 453 on the calendar, the matter of Lockett versus Perry. Quite welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have seats, please.
Ms. Lockett, according to what I read in your complaint, you and the defendant have a long relationship dating back about 5 years. You have a 2-year-old child together. It is your claim that in 1997 you made a loan to the defendant. Again, in 1999 you made a loan to the defendant. Now that you are no longer a couple, you want those loans paid back. He is counterclaiming. He says you vandalized his car, and years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, you were using his car and got parking tickets. He wants you to pay those 4-year-old parking tickets, right?
That's correct.
Have you nothing better to do with your time? Tell me about this first loan in 1997.
In 1997, Mr. Perry and I worked at a company together, and I quit before he was fired, and he was caught stealing money from the company, and they had made an arrangement for him to make payments, and I used to go with him every week to drop off the payments because he was not allowed to set foot on the premises anymore, and after a while he decided to stop making payments, and they demanded the money in full, and he asked me to loan him the money, and I did.
How much did you give him at that time?
$2,150.
Now, what arrangements were made to repay that money?
He was supposed to start making payments to me as soon as he got back to work, like within the next month or so.
Well, did he ever do that?
No, he never made any payments to me. He lost his job soon thereafter, and after that, he was fired from like 4 other positions, 2 for stealing apparel or money as well. And every time it was time for him to make a payment to me, there was always something else that he had to do with his money so that he could not pay me my money back.
So then you had a child with him?
We had a child together.
No, afterwards. After he lost all his jobs, you knew he caught stealing. Just listen to me. After you knew he got caught stealing, according to you, he promised to pay you back this money in a month, and he never did. So he didn't make payments in all of 1997. He didn't make payments in all of 1998. He lost all these jobs. That's why he didn't make payments. So then you decided to start a family together. Does that sound like very good judgment to you?
No, I was young, and I was in love. So no, it's not very good judgment, and I would be the first one to say that.
All right. When was the last time you asked him for this money?
The last time I asked him for the money, it was December of 2000. And we were on the phone talking, and I said, you know, it's entering another year. Do you think you could come up with some of my money? And he said, well, I don't plan on paying you anytime soon, and that the first time he would be able to make me a payment would be 2003 because he planned on giving me a lump sum of money. And that, okay.
Now, after 1997, and he didn't pay you back a penny, then, according to you, you lent him more money.
Yes.
When?
In 1999, he called me from jail. He had been arrested on a traffic violation of some sort. He said he had some of the money with him in jail. He was going to be able to use some of that for bail money, and that as soon as he got out of jail, we were going to go to the bank. When I got to the jail, I bailed him out. His sister and I drove him to the bank. He made up some story about the police keeping his identification card, and he could not pay me the money back again. So after everything was over, he had it was a fine due for $300, and he refused to pay the fine. And he told me I should just go on and sign my bail money over too, and he would pay me back that at a later date. And I never
signed. So he had a fine.
A fine.
Of the same amount as your bail money, which is $300. So you just signed your bail money.
I didn't sign it over. I refused to sign it over. And after a while, they said if he didn't make payment, that it was going to be forfeit. So it was forfeit anyways. And he just never gave me the money back for that.
When you were arrested in 1999 on this traffic problem that you had, were you arrested in your car?
Yes.
What kind of a car were you arrested in?
It was not my car. It belonged to my sister.
Just a second. Was that my question?
You said what type of car? It was
I didn't ask you whose car it was. I said, what type of car is
Make
it?
and model?
Yes.
89 Nissan Sentra, I believe.
The Toyota Camry. It was a Toyota Camry he was arrested in, a blue Toyota Camry.
Oh, yes, I remember it well. Do you currently own a car?
Yes, I do.
What kind of car do you own?
I own a black 1991 Eagle Premier.
How much did you pay for the car?
$2,500.
And what kind of work are you doing now, Mr. Perry?
I'm a market analyst.
You work for a company?
Yes.
How long have you been working for that company?
3 years.
Who has physical custody of your child?
Miss Lockett does.
Are you currently under a support order for your child?
Yes, I am.
Are you up to date in your support payment?
Oh, yes.
Is that correct?
No, he owes money on it still. He contacted me and told me they said they were going to garnish his income tax because he still owes back money on child support.
How much does he owe on his child support?
I don't know how much he owes on it. I don't know.
When did he start to make child support payments?
He started to make child support payments when my son was almost a year old, so he owed money from June. I didn't get my first payment until October of '99.
That's not correct, Your Honor. She's being dishonest at this point.
Okay, so there were a couple of months, but since October of 1999, he's been making the support payments.
Oh, it's garnished, so yes, I get it directly.
Oh, it is garnished,
yes,
right,
it
from
is
Mr.
garnished
Salary?
because he refused
Oh,
to
that's
pay it.
perfect. All right, Mr. Perry, let's start out with this $21.50.
Okay.
What company were you working for at the time that Miss Lockett indicates that you had some difficulty?
I should say, Your Honor, that Miss Lockett is making up the bulk of her story.
All right, what company was he working for?
Bagel.
Bagel. Where are
Yes.
they located?
It's in Rochester, New York.
And what was he doing there?
It wasn't as high as a manager, but he was in a position higher than me, so maybe like a key holder or something of that nature.
Okay. Do you remember the name of his immediate superior?
It was Ron, but he's no longer with the company.
That's convenient.
Oh, I'm good at this. Believe me, I'm good at this. Do you recall whether or not they reported this to the police?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Also very convenient. Sorry, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
Do you remember the entire amount that it was alleged he stole?
No, he never told me how much. He never told me how much money they said he stole.
Okay. Now, Mr. Perry,
Yes, Your Honor.
before I go and try to make heads or tails of this thing, why don't you tell me? You said there wasn't the whole truth about this incident at Bagel, but it was only partial truth.
No.
So tell me your version of what happened in 1997 when you worked for Bagel.
Your Honor, Miss Lockett is manipulating facts that have happened.
No, I'm asking you, just tell me what
There's
happened.
nothing that happened at Bagel. So to tell you, answer your question specifically.
Nothing happened.
Nothing happened at Bagel. She can provide absolutely no documentation because there was never any incidents of me stealing money or doing anything of that nature at Bagel. I resigned from Bagel. She is lying. She cannot prove
Your Honor,
any
that's
of
not
it.
true.
Anything that she is saying is
Okay.
totally a lie.
That's-
As far as that goes, there is partial truth to what she's saying.
So then let me hear the partial truth before you irritate me. And I have to go investigate myself.
I was arrested on a traffic violation, and she did bail me out of jail.
I'm not there yet.
Oh, that's the only truth?
I'm talking about 1997, an alleged loan to you of $2,150.
That's all a lie. That's all a lie.
That's not true.
Okay. You have a bank withdrawal for $2,150
I have
on
a
or about
bank.
that time?
Yep, a bank statement that I withdrew.
Can I see it? Did you give that money in check or cash?
I gave it to him in cash. He went with me to the bank, actually. He picked me up from school and drove me to the bank so I can give him all of my money.
What's the area code in Rochester, New York?
716.
Thank you.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Catrice Lockett says Jason Perry owes her for paying back an employer who accused him of stealing. Jason denies the charge and the loan.
Good morning. This is Judge Judy Scheindlin. I have a case before me that involves a former employee of yours. I don't know how long you've been there, but this person was employed back in 1997. Jason Perry, P-E-R-R-Y. Okay, great. I'm taking testimony now with regard to some money that he paid back to Bagel in October of 1997. A payment of $2,150. Is that right? Okay. What was the total amount that was alleged that he took? Do you remember? Right. Okay. You have been an absolute angel. Thanks, Lisa. Bye-bye. You stole $5,000. Your parents paid back the rest. $2,150 was paid by her. Do you? Because that was the last payment. According to somebody who has, in fact, been there for a very long time and knows you, sir. See what happens when you lie? You think I'm stupid?
No, but that's
Good.
not true.
So, it's not true. No, I called somebody and I said, listen, are you familiar with Mr. Perry? Oh, yes, I am. There an incident in 1997 with regarding some money that he paid back to Bagel? Oh, absolutely. Do you
Oh.
recall how much money he paid?
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Judgment for the plaintiff on her complaint in the amount of $2,435. I'm not even getting into anything else with him, because once somebody lies, they don't get a second chance with me. Your counterclaim's dismissed, sir. That's all.
Oh, you may step out.
I can't believe this.
She was lying through her teeth, and I don't know who Judge Judy called. That's ridiculous. But this whole thing has been a farce.
I feel like I got my justice, and I want everyone to watch out for this man because he will suck you dry.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Chase versus Brooks. Step forward.
33-year-old bus driver Tammy Chase is suing her former friends, Susie and Larry Brooks, for car payments. Tammy says the Brooks repossessed the car.
Miss Chase, the defendants were friends of yours.
Yes.
And some time ago, you were talking about buying a new car. according to what I've read in your papers, the defendant suggested that they had a car, and if you wish to take over the payments on the car would be yours when the car was paid for.
Yes.
And you did take over the payments and take possession of the car.
Mhm.
According to you, you made all those payments, and despite that, they came and repossessed the car. You won all the payments that you made the time that the car was in your possession. They say you were late with your payments and sometimes came up short, so they repossessed the car, right?
Right.
When did you take possession of the car?
In May. I made the first payment in April, though.
And what were the monthly payments?
It was $387.68.
And how many months did you have the car?
From April till October.
7 payments you made in total. Did you pay by check or cash?
Cash, 1 check, and money orders.
Let me see the checks and the money orders.
It begins here. And it goes on to the other pages.
And how many payments do you claim that you received for the car?
I claim that she made all 7 payments.
Okay, so there's no dispute as to that?
No.
She made all 7 payments?
Right.
If she made all 7 car payments, why did you take back the car?
Because she made the payments, but she made them late.
Yeah.
And she also made them, she didn't pay them all in full. She was short.
But you said she made all the payments she was supposed to make.
She never paid the full amount each month, and she never paid it on time.
How much short do you claim she was?
Well, 1 month I got a check that was a $70 check that bounced.
Which month was that?
This was in August. When I called her and asked her about it, she said to talk to her boyfriend because it wasn't he owed her the money and it wasn't her responsibility.
Did she ever make up that check?
No, her boyfriend did.
I don't know whether her boyfriend did. So you got the full amount for August.
No, I got that. First of all, the payments were late. Our agreement, I have a written agreement stating that if she was late, I would take the car back.
That was a 5-day grace period.
How much do you claim
That I
she
never
paid you
used.
in total towards the car in the 7 months she had the car, madam?
Probably.
Not probably. You must have a record.
I don't have a record because I've never given her a receipt because I've never seen her since June. So I couldn't have given her receipts.
Look, Miss Brooks, I'm not asking you about receipts. If somebody is short when they give you money, then you keep a ledger. The ledger says, this is what she's paid me, this is what she owes me. What, are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. I couldn't do that because, first of all, she never paid me. She paid my husband. She never paid my husband.
He's not allowed to talk. Right?
Okay.
You're
Well,
doing
can I
all the
tell you-
talking.
Can I tell you how it started first so that you can understand where we're at right now? There's a situation
I
that
don't
gets
care
to this point.
about anything other than the car. You can't
That's
take
what
back...
I want to tell you about.
Go ahead.
Okay, what had happened was we have a written agreement here stating that if she was late on the car, at any time after the grace period, we would take back possession of the car.
Which I never used the grace period
Excuse
at
me,
all.
it's my turn.
Well, then
Okay,
tell the truth.
then in July, she started making late payments. I would call her on the 5th and say, Tammy, if there's going to be a problem with making the car payment, you need to call me and let me know. She would call me the date of the thing and say, I need 5 more days grace period, I don't have all the money. So there was always a problem. So then there was a problem with reckless driving in the car. So we took the car back once. We had the car back in our possession for 1 week, and then we gave it back to her. Then when we gave her back to the car, then the problems continued to start. So what we decided to do, I told her, Tammy, instead of making the payments, I said, bring me back the car. It's not working out because every time I would call on the phone, there was a verbal abuse. I'll pay you whenever I want to. It was a big
But you
problem.
can't take the car back and then not give her back any money.
I told her, when we got the car repoed, I said, I will give you $200, the money that you pay for this month, I will give it back to you in full. It's not working out. It's nothing but problems.
Just a second. So you were willing to give her back the money she paid for the last month and you were going to take back the car. What about some of the other money that she paid towards paying off your car note?
Well, we never asked for a down payment on the car. We've been paying on the car for 3 years.
Yeah. You've been paying on the car for 3 years and she paid on it for 7 months. But you have the car.
Right. We have the car, but it's not necessarily because of the car payment. It was because of what she was doing in the car. We could not be
Catherine, let us
responsible.
assume that you are correct, that she did not live up to her agreement to pay the note on time, and that at least 1 month she gave you a $70 check that bounced. It bounced, did it not?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So that
But we
clearly
skipped it
is
on
a late payment.
Correct.
Because it bounced. So that's in violation of your agreement.
Correct.
Fine. You take back the car. What you're suggesting is that when you take back the car, she loses all of her money. Is that what you're suggesting? You have the equity in the car. You have the car.
Mysterio.
I'm speaking. Do I? You're not going to get all this money back. I mean, you have to pay something. You had the use of a car for 7 months. How much do you think you should have to pay for your use of that car? Because you used it for 7 months. You're not going to get all your money back. That means you had use of a car for 7 months for free.
Okay, first of all, I used it for 6 months because I made the first car payment in April. I didn't get it till May.
6 months.
I don't know. I've never thought about it. I figured I should get the money the payments that I put into it, I should get back.
That means you had free use of the car.
Can I just state one thing? Okay, the car, they did not repossess the car. They did not make payments to the finance company for 3 months.
Doesn't make any difference.
The money I was giving them, though, they weren't paying the finance company to the car.
Doesn't make any difference. You breached the agreement with them. You breached the agreement with them. They were within their rights to take back the car. You want me to read you the agreement?
No, I know
Well,
what the agreement is about, but the month that the check bounced is one of the months that they didn't even pay the finance company.
It has nothing to do with you.
Can I at least get my stereo out of the car?
Yes, absolutely. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. Within 24 hours of the order, you will return the stereo to them. How much did you pay for the stereo, by the way?
$171, the receipt.
Okay, and I'm going to give you $100 per month for the 7 months that you paid for the car. That is what I consider your equity in the car. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $700 plus the stereo. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Specialist Sheila Powell is suing 44-year-old maintenance worker Reuben Hughes and his wife Carol. Sheila says the couple's pit bulls attacked her 17-year-old daughter, Carrie.
Order. All rise.
Now, this is case number 24 on the calendar in the matter of Powell versus Hughes. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ladies, have seats.
Mrs. Powell, which of these two young ladies is your daughter?
Carrie in the blue.
Step up, please. Carrie? Carrie, you were attacked by 2 dogs.
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of dogs were they?
They were pit bulls.
Were you alone?
Yes, ma'am. I was going to visit a friend.
And what happened?
I was on the left-hand side of the street, and I looked around the neighborhood to check for dogs, you know, because I'm in a strange neighborhood and I don't really know. And all of a sudden, these dogs just ran out of the yard and attacked me. And I screamed and yelled until somebody finally came out.
Who came out?
It was a man that probably lived right across Caddy Corner from where the dogs were.
And what did he do?
He threw something at the dogs, and they ran off. And he took me into his house and wrapped my arm.
Were you bitten by the dogs?
Yes, ma'am.
After he wrapped something around your arms, what did you do?
He didn't have a telephone in his house, so we walked across, probably past one house, into the next yard and used another neighbor's phone. And she phoned my mother. She phoned the police first, but they couldn't do anything, so she phoned my mother.
I was called. I had just returned home from a doctor's appointment and received a call from the lady, and she asked me to come and get my daughter because she had been attacked by 2 pit bulls.
And when you saw your daughter, describe what you saw.
She was bleeding, and she was crying, and I got nervous, and she had blood all over her, and I brought the coat to show that she had on that the dog's attacked, and it still has the blood stains and the tears. It's on the sleeves and the inseam.
Did you go to the hospital?
Yes, I took her. I called my husband and told him to meet me at Methodist Hospital, and I took her to the emergency room.
Do you have the report?
Yes.
I'd like to see it, please.
And also brought pictures of their house to show they don't have a fence around their house. Yeah, and I also brought a copy of the animal controls report.
I'd like to see it. Now, you folks are the owners of the dogs?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And you were not at home when this occurred?
No, we were both at work.
How long have you had the dogs?
Since birth.
4 years.
I read that your dogs did not have their vaccinations. Why not?
Because basically we keep the dogs in the house.
In the house,
Or in
outside
the-
of the house? They were outside of the house. That's why you're supposed to
And
have
we
them
also-
inoculated.
Pardon me?
That's why you're supposed to get them inoculated. That's the law, isn't it?
Yes.
The law is that they're supposed to be vaccinated every year for rabies, right?
Right.
When was the last time you had them inoculated for rabies?
When we picked them up from animal control, that was one of their procedures. They vaccinated them and gave them a homing device.
Before that?
Well, they had shots before that.
When they were, I think, like 8 weeks old or 10 weeks old.
So they
something
haven't been
like
to a
that.
vet since?
No illnesses, no reason.
No, illness. You do have a reason because the law requires that they be given a shot for rabies and distemper every year. That's the law. So after this incident occurred, the dogs were taken to quarantine.
Yes.
Unfortunately for you, because you didn't have to go through the procedure of those very, very terrible shots. The dogs did not have rabies, yes.
Your Honor, I guess what she saw when she drove by our house, we don't have a fence from the driveway. Our yard is completely fenced in.
From the back.
From the back of the garage all the way around, and I've got the pictures, we do. What happens is, even though that it's fenced in, we still do not let our dogs run loose in the yard because they are pit bulls. When I came home from work Thursday evening, it was dark, it was in November. I get off work at 6:30, it's approximately 10 minutes to 7. And when I pulled up in the driveway, Valerie and China came off the porch and came up to the car.
Your 2 dogs?
Yes. And I was like, what's wrong with this picture? You know, something is not right here. So I got the flashlight out the back of the back seat of the car, and I let them in the front door. And then I walked around to the back apprehensively and saw that the door had been kicked in.
Does the back door open to the backyard?
Yes.
Yes.
Which is fenced in?
Yes.
Well, so what you're saying is someone tried to kick in the back door.
Right.
Your dogs got out.
Right.
But if they got out, they would have been in a fenced-in yard.
Nah, they would have been able to get out of the yard, actually.
How?
Jump the fence or whatever.
Well, that's... Put your hand down, madam, please. I see it up. If I haven't recognized you, there's a reason. Got it?
Yes.
We have a fence, but, you know, they can get out if they wanted to.
So what difference does it make if you have a fence?
Well, when we have our dogs out, they're on chains anyway, and they're not out unless we're at home, okay? And like somebody tried...
So the fence is useless?
Yeah, okay, you can say the fence is useless,
Okay.
yes.
Well, clearly the fence was useless.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still there.
But it was useless because the dogs didn't go out the front door. The dogs went out the back door, right?
With
And
help.
if the dogs went back the back door, then the second line of defense is a fence. They can jump over the fence, as your husband says, then the fence is useless. So it's like having no fence.
Now, if we're at work and our dogs are locked in the house and somebody attempts to break in our house, Your Honor, I mean...
Yes,
what-
Miss Hughes. You just a second. Your point is someone tried to burglarize your house but was not successful, didn't take anything. Your dogs got out, and there was this very unfortunate incident, and you're really not responsible. Did you notify your homeowner's insurance? Do you have homeowner's insurance? You don't have homeowner's insurance. Well, you should have homeowner's insurance.
Animal control, when I got home, animal control left a thing on the doorknob, and it was very vague. It had nothing to say about, and it's right here, it had nothing to say that the dogs bit anybody or anything. You want it?
Yeah, just give them this.
Here, you can just have it. Here. And what happened was, at this point, I'm still not even knowing that anyone was injured. I'm just finding the dogs out. So then, when my husband came home from work, the neighbor across the street said that they did bite a little girl. So I'm on the phone trying to call up animal control to get to the bottom of this and what's going on and whatever.
Animal control had came out and left that on the door. And the 2 dogs were right out there in the yard when they was there, okay? And he was able to walk up, you know, from what the neighbor across the street told me. He had threw treats to him before he got out and then put the notice on the door, okay? So before she got bit, to me, it seemed like animal control should have grabbed them dogs, you know, because they weren't on the on chains or nothing like that. Not to say that they're to blame or anything like that. I'm just expressing that animal control did come when the dogs was right out there in the yard, but did not take them.
It's not animal control's fault that you had not, in violation of the law, had your animals vaccinated from the time they were puppies. It's not their fault that for 10 days she had to wait to see whether or not she was going to have to go through a very painful series of shots for rabies because you had neglected to follow the law. You do not have homeowners insurance, which you should have to cover such situations because that's why people have homeowners insurance. And bottom line is, you have somebody who's innocent, who's walking down the street, not doing anything wrong, and she is attacked by animals that you own. She has to be compensated for that because she is the innocent person. And while I'm not saying that you are guilty criminals, I'm saying guilty on this side, innocent on this side. Someone has to pay.
Basically, when you have pit bulls, because of the word, because of the word pit bulls, it's hard to get homeowners insurance. Had it been a mutt, we probably wouldn't even have been here.
Then that's what you should have. Then that's what you should have gotten.
Give it on police report.
You like dogs?
I love dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You don't just. I'm speaking. You don't just love pit bulls. You love dogs.
I love all dogs.
Okay.
Just like you
So
can
if
be a
it's
bad
too-
parent, you can be a bad pit bull owner, and we're not the ones
Listen
like
to me.
that.
There are some lovely pit bulls, I am certain. But when you use the word pit bull, it usually means people who have those dogs for protection. You chose to get a dog that has the reputation. When they bite you, they hurt you. You have to pay the consequences of that. And if you can't get, if my homeowner's insurance company said to me, we'll give you homeowner's insurance, but we're going to cut your insurance if the dogs that you choose to get are pit bulls, I would get a different variety of dog rather than not have homeowner's insurance. That's easy. Okay. What were your out-of-pocket expenses?
For Carrie's coat, I had paid $25. The emergency room was $60. The emergency room doctors to look at Carrie was $60. Clarion Health Hospital charged $132. Carrie's personal physician was $45, which was a total of $362. And then just for emotional stress and damages, that was a total of $4,638. And I also wanted to say, you know, Your Honor, those two pit bulls attacked my daughter. One had one arm and one had the other arm. And when I saw my daughter, I could have cried, and I was scared because I didn't know. I still don't know what the extent of the damage is going to be. You know, she's got scars from that. You know, so far the doctor said everything is okay, but we don't know long term.
You still have visible scars?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you step up? I'd like to see them.
My shirt is kind of... This is where the dog locked on this arm.
Here?
It locked on this one right here.
Yeah.
And then these are just where I kept trying to move my arm.
Here, here, and here?
Yes, ma'am.
And here?
Yes, ma'am.
And here?
Not so much. Just a little one right here.
Put your jacket back on. While I don't think that she's going to have any long-term problem with movement or anything else, she's fine, but she clearly is going to be permanently scarred as a result of those bites. I do find you, Mr. and Mrs. Hughes, reasonable people, but who did an unreasonable thing. You did an unreasonable thing when you failed to have your dogs vaccinated. That was just the start. By maintaining those two dogs, you had to take into consideration that if they didn't attack somebody, they were going to hurt them. They attacked somebody who was an innocent, had nothing to do with breaking into your house. And you anticipated that when you chose this breed of animal. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $4,000. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Two vicious pit bulls on an attack. If they had been really vicious, you couldn't have stopped them.
When I got there, she had blood everywhere. Her arms were wrapped up. You know, she was crying and hysterical.
We keep them because we're in a very high crime area where they're always breaking in the house, drugs, and all that.
I'm just glad it's over and I hope I never have to go through it again.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Carney versus Valles. Step forward, please.
83-year-old Juanita Carney is suing her granddaughter, 35-year-old social caseworker Josephine Valles, for car repair bills. Josephine says her grandmother repossessed the car. She's countersuing for the money she put into the vehicle.
Miss Carney, the defendant is your granddaughter.
Yes, she is.
You co-signed a loan for your granddaughter to buy a car. She did not have good enough credit to take out a loan herself. You say it was your agreement with her that she would work on clearing her credit so that eventually she could put the car loan in her name. She did not do that. And a year and a half after the car was purchased, you repossessed the car. When you repossessed the car, you had it fixed, and you spent $2,779 to fix the car. You want her to pay you back for the money that you spent to fix up the car. Your granddaughter is countersuing. She wants you to reimburse her for the down payment that she put on the car, which was $1,500, and for all the payments that she made on the car during the time that she had the car. Is that right?
Yes.
When was this car purchased, Miss Carney?
January of '99.
And when did you repossess the car?
September 2000.
Who maintained insurance on the car?
She did, but she dropped it in June of 2000.
Did you drop the insurance?
Yes, I did.
Why?
Because she came and threatened to take the car from me. Because she wanted to take a loan out on her house, and she could not do that because my car payment was stopping her.
When you dropped the insurance on the car, did you continue to drive the car?
Yes.
Well, you can't do that. What kind of car was it?
It was a 98 Hyundai Elantra.
And how much was the total purchase price?
$12,092.
Did you make all the car payments on the car?
Yes, I did.
Okay, now, Miss Carney, you tell me why you repossessed the car.
During our transaction of the car, the salesman said that there was a mark in the credit report that he could not put it in her name. It had to be in my name solely. I asked her, are you willing to put it in your name once you clear up your credit? And she said yes, because one of the black thing that's on the credit is a mistake, and I can clear that, and I'll be glad to do it. And with that promise, I went ahead and allowed it to be in my name, knowing that I could be liable if anything would happen. Right before repossession, I was told that it was wrecked, and she was still driving it around. So I repossessed it. I took the car to a repair shop, and I have the receipts for both of them.
Where is the car now, Miss Carney?
I resold it. I had to fix it, and somebody else did.
Just a second. You sold it?
Yeah.
What did you sell it for?
$7,000.
Who did you sell it to?
To my daughter's friend.
She's taking over the payment. She didn't sell it. And the car was not wrecked when whoever picked it up took it.
Yes, it was.
Just a second.
There was nothing wrong with the car when it was taken from me.
Oh,
I was at work, and when I went out, the car was gone. There was nothing wrong with the car.
Do you have photographs of the car when the car was taken?
No, I didn't take any. The only thing that was apparent was a broken windshield. It was cracked. But what made it so expensive is that both airbags were deflated.
Your problem is that you dropped the insurance and continued to drive in the car. And if you did that, that rendered your grandmother liable. If you had an accident and hurt somebody, and the car is in her name, they can take her house, they can get a judgment against her. So in my judgment, she had an absolute right, based upon the fact that you had no insurance, even though she might not have known it at the time, to take back the car. So you acted irresponsibly. So on your counterclaim, you're getting nothing. My problem is, Ms. Carney, that you took it upon yourself to gratuitously fix this car. You can't render her liable for that. And you're not going to get any money either. Do you have a car now?
Yes, I do.
What kind of a car do you have?
A 2001 Hyundai Elantra.
How'd you get it?
I financed it in October of 2000.
So right after your grandmother took back this car? So that you could have done what your grandmother asked
Not
you to
back
do
in
in
June, I
September.
couldn't have.
Well, did you call her in August and tell her you could do it?
No, I did not.
No. Your counterclaim's dismissed. So's your lawsuit.
Parties are excused. You may step out.